Well, welcome back to See, Hear, Love and to our special Autism Awareness Week. If you were with us on Monday, you would have heard the beautiful story of Randy and Nadine Mitchell and their son Caleb, who has autism and a developmental delay. Yeah. And we hope that story inspired you and encouraged you as you started off your week, because I know it definitely encouraged us and the co-hosts around the table. And today, Wednesday, we have our wonderful co-hosts back, Cheryl and Joanna. Welcome back, guys.
Hey, it's good
to
be
Wednesday.
Here.
And with us, a very special, beautiful guest to my right, Jam Gamble.
Hello.
Well, welcome. Jam is a TV host of A Voice for All, a public speaker, an advocate, an educator, consultant. She's like everything. Mm-hmm. You are a force to be reckoned with, girl.
Chef. I'm not a chef.
But not, oh, too bad, because you could have been making some food back here in the kitchen.
No. Throwback.
Jam is here to inspire us with her story and her passion to advocate for people with disabilities. And I know that we're going to learn a lot from you today, Jam. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And what I love is that you're not new to this whole hosting TV thing, are you? You're not afraid to be here, are you?
No, but it's always different being on the other end. Like, I want to ask you questions.
Oh.
So I got to remember where my spot is.
Well, maybe that's for the next time you come.
Yes.
You can do like an ask. Oh, that's actually a good idea. Ask the co-host anything you want.
Whoa.
Yeah, maybe not.
I love it.
Well, I know that we have you here to sort of conclude our week of autism awareness, and that the show from Monday really struck us because we were really educated by Randy and Nadine. Mm-hmm. But I know, Cheryl, you've got lots of questions for Jam because you guys are actually friends, aren't you?
Yeah, this is my girl. Jam she's a force to be reckoned with for sure. I think for me, my big thing is passion. I'm always an advocate of passion, and when I knew you were coming, I wanted to ask you, what is your why? As an able-bodied person, sort of taking on this sort of lifelong mission of raising awareness and advocating. Why?
Oh, that is a big question.
It is.
My why is, it's human. That's it. I don't have a why. I'm able-bodied for now. I don't have a child. I don't have a relative. And I think a lot of people assume that you have to have a reason, that you either have to have a disability or a lived experience to understand it, when I feel that you have to have a human reason to understand it. I may not have a disability, but I have a heart, I have a soul, and I have a mind, and I have desires, and so does a person with a disability, and that's our connection. And that's why I've been doing this for 17 years. That's my only why, I guess.
And it's really your passion.
It truly is.
It lights you up, I can see that.
Like, it legit does. Like, if I'm at a party and you make the mistake of asking me what I do, it's, oh, well, let me tell you what my student did last week, and you're like, okay, I gotta go. Because I'm just so proud. Like, I feel like a mom some days.
So what was like your first exposure into that? Like, so 17 years ago,
Yeah.
was there a moment or a first experience with people?
There was, yeah. And my mom helped me realize that. I went to summer camp when I was really young, and I remember my camp was next to a camp that had children with disabilities. And I remember being very fascinated by them, but I didn't understand what was going on. But I was interacting with them. I really didn't see anything different. I just saw something that I really was curious about. And my mom reminded me that I had a friend who someone said something mean about her, and I was immediately like wanting to defend her, like, no, that's my friend, don't make fun of my friend. So I've always had this very...
It's like a justice issue.
Yeah, it's always been within me. So when I had to do my volunteer hours, my mom, being a tough mom, was like, you're not just doing your volunteer hours anywhere, you're doing it somewhere good. And she got me my hours at the city of Brampton. I did some hours there, and then I applied, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow.
Just like that.
Just like that, yeah.
On your journey, because I think for a lot of people, we have made it where it's those with disabilities here,
Yes.
and then able-bodied here.
Yes.
I think what I want to really learn from you is to educate us on how to bridge that divide, because I really believe that there is a divide in that with those with disabilities. And so as you're teaching and encouraging inclusion, what do you say to people like myself to say, how do you get from here to here and open your heart more to those with people with disabilities?
I think we make it seem really complex.
Okay.
And it's not that complex. It's like you start a new job, you meet new coworkers, you get to know your coworkers. You have to. It's part of your job. So when you're in environments and you're interacting with someone who might appear differently, you have two options. You could remain ignorant, or you could ask questions to someone else who could help you, or you could just talk to them. Like, I did an exercise with my students the other day, and I said, okay, I want you to imagine that this person has a disability and they're nonverbal. How would you introduce yourselves to them? And every single student went, I go, okay, now this person can't talk. How do you say hi to them? They're like, oh, hi. I go, so why didn't you say hi to the other person? Well, he can't talk, but doesn't he have ears?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's breaking it down like that. It's not that difficult. We're trying to make it seem like it's something so, when really it's an attitude. It's an attitude and it's a perception, and you have that choice to either remain ignorant, to remain defensive, or you could just see the person first before they're labeled.
It sounds like there's
love that.
a bit of that,
Seeing them
fear.
before they're labeled.
Yeah, and but there's a fear. Why do people have that fear?
It's a fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like you're looking at this person and you're seeing a physical handicap, and you're like, well then, if your body's like this, I'm assuming your brain is like that. I'm assuming you can't talk.
Okay.
And that's one thing I always do when I'm out in public and I see someone who might have a physical disability. I talk to them the same way I will talk to you. I will say, hey, what's up? The person's like, oh, they're nonverbal. What's your point? Hey, what's up? I make them know that they're here. They're part of this conversation. I don't just adjust my attitude because something seems different about
Because
them.
they're still brilliant and gifted and clear and
And you have to find ways to show people that people look to you for direction. They see your mannerisms. So I'm always trying to make sure that I am being the perfect example for people to model after. So even at our wedding, our ring boy has autism and our flower girl has a rare syndrome. That's my passion came to my wedding. My guests
that.
saw my students, and that was part of the most beautiful part, aside from me.
Well, yes. Yeah.
But seeing my students and my kids there, because that's how much they mean to me. And they got to interact with the guests, and even that shattered that conception that, oh my goodness, can children with disabilities be a part of weddings? Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
So can we were talking about misconceptions. Can you just break down autism? What is autism in its grassroots level?
The way I break down autism is that imagine you have a radio and you're trying to get to your channel and the frequency is a little bit fuzzy. You have the choice to not listen to that favorite station of yours, or you could just adjust the antenna. Just adjust it until you get the right frequency and you hear it. That's what I do. That's what I try to tell people, that people with autism, there is a channel there. There is something to listen to. There is something to enjoy.
Yeah, that's good.
You just have to adjust your frequency.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you will see that there is so much to learn. Everything I have learned in the past 17 years is not from schooling. My students, my clients have taught me. I have reshaped myself as an educator and an advocate countless times because of the students I worked with.
So how they process information
everything,
and how
everything.
they
Fascinating, yeah.
So do you have a story? Like,
Yeah,
tell us
what
a-
would you-
give us
Oh
an
God,
example.
we could be here for hours. Let me just pick one of my favorites. One day I was really miserable at work. I was tired, I was overworked, I was stressed, and I unfortunately was taking it out on my student. I'll be the first to admit it. My attitude wasn't right. I wasn't that typical jam that my kids know, and my voice was harsh. And I remember looking at one of my students, and he had this look on his face like, why? Like, why are you, this is not you. I said sorry. I was like, I'm so sorry. You don't deserve this. Did I mention he's nonverbal? Who's he going to go and tell? Who's he going to go and tell that I was harsh, that I was mean? He can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
He could tell someone,
Yeah.
but who's he going to tell? I don't have to worry about him telling anybody. It's my conscience that felt terrible because this is the person. This is the person. And I had to
And so
see
that was a moment where you
that
were
was
like,
a moment I was like, whoa.
because that
Yeah.
speaks to dignity.
Absolutely.
You saw
value.
the dignity and the value in him.
Absolutely. I said, I'm sorry, and I gave him a big hug, and I go, I will never do that again. I am so sorry.
So that's a big learning because I think for most people, we don't value
Oh, God.
people and give dignity
And
to
there's
people
no
that are different.
dignity. And
What does that say about us? Like, I guess that's part of like I'm kind of struck by that because that's a big one. Like, clearly we have levels of value
Yes,
of
we
people.
do.
We do.
Yes, we do.
And we treat people the way we see value or not see value. How do we change that? Because that's now bugging me because I think I'm guilty. Well, I should say I think. I know I'm guilty. And shame on me.
think we all
because-
are.
I think we all are.
It's just like what I'm always saying here. It works when you work it, right? Like you have to make a decision before your emotions. So I feel uncomfortable. I feel nervous. I'm not sure about this, but like do it anyways.
Yeah.
so how do
Right,
we?
yeah,
how do we
you
our
change
thinking?
that way of value of people?
You see the person.
Yeah, it's the
just that-
it's the actual doing
If
of it
you are
that's changed
choosing
you.
to disregard someone, if you are choosing to believe that a person is not able to do A, B, C, and D just because your perception tells you that they can't do that, then you're not seeing the person, you're seeing the diagnosis, you're seeing the label. You need to see the person. That's like me saying, oh, you're a black woman. There's so many negative ideas about black women. I'm just going to see that. I'm not going to get to know you. You're just that black person. So I'm just going to peg it at that.
Right.
Ooh,
I can't
that's
do
powerful.
that. I can't do that. And
Right.
you lead by example. Not everyone is going to jump on the boat and be this right, proper advocate. It took me years of learning. I'm still learning. But you model it. You model it. My husband comes from a country where people with disabilities are like pushed to the side. He had to model and see me and how I am. And now, the way he is, you would have thought he's been an advocate for 17 years.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. And so it's just as we've been saying, right? As you have in your life gotten to know real people, real stories, that's where you learn how to interact with them.
Absolutely.
That's where you're learning how to see them as human beings and not their diagnosis or not whatever their outward or their nonverbal.
You can't
or
teach
whatever it is.
compassion.
Yeah.
You can't teach compassion. You can't.
You have to do
You
it.
can't.
You do
it's
it.
Not, it's not an app. It's not an app.
There you go. Click compassion.
Empathy.
Compassion is not an app. Retweet.
You can't just say, "Hey,
Compassion's not an app.
empathy." Okay, you got a
Can't
little
download
compassion. You
it.
can't do that. You have to model it. And I always encourage parents: if your child comes home and they tell you they have a peer in their class who seems different, engage them, talk to them, ask questions, because they're going to learn from you as well, not just from us at school. I'll never forget when one of my students was invited to a birthday party. Man, my makeup was ruined, because this was a child who would not be invited to a birthday party. He doesn't talk, he's in a wheelchair, and a friend came up to him and said, "I have an invitation. Can you come to my birthday party?" And I was like, "Yeah, he can come to my birthday party." And he goes, "I chose the McDonald's on Queen Street because it's accessible." I was like,
Wow. Yeah.
well, but you know what? A child doesn't know what accessibility is. His mom does.
Yeah.
So his mom,
Right.
his mom taught him that. He came to school and he
yeah.
practiced it.
Yeah.
For me, it's like
Fantastic.
it's back to what Jesus teaches about. It's these stories over and over. For first of all, how he modeled it, but also it's like he talks about these weddings and who you invite to your wedding. Like, are you going to invite all these people?
All the beautiful people?
They're your friends and they're going to give you a nice present. Or are you inviting people to your wedding or to your party or to your banquet that could never repay you, but like for compassion and love, like you value their humanity and they will be invited, knowing that they will never be able to invite you back, not in a real sense.
Yes.
They won't be able to make that same hospitality towards you.
Yeah, one of the biggest things I've learned, like with Randy and Nadine, who were on the show before, to watch them love Caleb. And the one thing that's most powerful, and it always makes me cry, she's like, he has never said I love you. He has never thanked me for the sacrifice of our lives that we give. But we know that this is what we are called and must do. And in that, she has taught us a whole community of how to love. Because when you love, you want it in return.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's like, he's never done anything. He doesn't clean his room. He doesn't pick up after himself. He doesn't say I love you. He doesn't get good grades. He can't do anything. He can be, and he flaps and does all kinds of things. But I said, but isn't that love?
He will show it differently.
Yeah,
in his own way.
In his own way. But isn't that love, to love sacrificially without demanding anything in return?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
gives 100%, expecting 0%.
0% in the way that we want it.
Yeah.
And so she said, you know, the one thing I said, what, you know, when it's the end and you're in heaven, what do you want? And she goes, what I'd love to hear when that happens is I just want Caleb to say I love you. And then we're all like,
Yeah.
profound.
I know that we're winding down, and I know we've got some questions about advocating, but what do you want us to know? What do you want us to know? What do you want us, the viewers, to be left with when it comes to the disabled and those that are particularly autistic?
I want our viewers or your viewers to know that there is a friend waiting there. There is a lesson waiting there. There is an opportunity into a world that we do not see. I remember when I was in college, a professor taught us all about different disabilities, and then he gave us a quick rundown of one disability, and we're like, oh my goodness, what is that? And he goes, that's you people. You need constant attention, you need to be around people, you don't see the beauty in things, and we're like, so when you get to know someone who's not you, there is so much to learn, and I have to thank my students and my clients for everything they have given me. They have shown me a love that is like no other. They have shown me a world that we don't often see, and because of them, my scope of thinking has broadened, my heart has widened, and that's fueled me to give that to other people.
Yeah. So what can we do to be advocates? We, our viewers,
You're already being an advocate. You're starting a discussion.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a good place
Start
to
a
start.
discussion. Start a discussion. Ask questions. Invite people who could help you learn more. Give a platform to those whose voices. I don't want to say who don't have a voice. Their voice needs to be amplified, and that's what I do.
Voice
I
needs to be
amplify
amplified.
voices.
Yeah, I like
amplify
that.
those voices, and in doing that, you're going to be educating more people.
Yeah.
Is important for people when we have like an autism awareness for us to say, oh wait, this isn't just like entertainment or just something for somebody else. Awareness is important.
Awareness
These kinds of
is
campaigns
important.
are important.
It's for everybody. It's a human thing. It's not just a certain group. It's in April. This is year round. We talk year round. Awareness, advocacy, understanding is a year round discussion.
So really, finding these places that are doing great work,
Yes.
Going on to information sites where we can just learn more.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing change your thinking. Start the dialogue.
Absolutely.
And then change your
That's
thinking.
it. That's how you do it.
And it starts with us too. Like even for me, Jam, being here, what you've said has already gotten me to be like, okay,
Yeah.
I need to see people differently.
Absolutely.
And every person.
Because here's the thing, you see them differently, but how do they see you?
Well, exactly. Oh, and I know how they see me. I've heard that, right? And many things. And so that's it. But that's a way. Thank you for giving me that perspective.
Yeah.
How I see people. It's the same way people are making assumptions about myself without even knowing me. And now I'm like, my mind is like this because now I get it.
We're
I
not the
actually
only
get it.
one who judges.
Right.
Wow, that is so good. So thank you for encouraging us, because in these discussions, that's what the show is supposed to be about, is to say we need to educate, we need to bring awareness to people, to start conversations, because, I mean, we can do what we can, but all you other viewers out there, we need you to do what you can.
Yeah.
Right, and this is how we're going to start it. Jim, thank you. You are like a powerhouse. I love that. You could
I
have
love
stayed
it.
on for hours, and
I really could.
We'll have to, have you come back. And I know for more information about you, it's msjam.ca.
Yeah, Miss Jam, that's what my students call me.
MsJam.ca, all about Jam Gamble, because I know a lot of you viewers are going to know more about her and how you can actually hire her to host events or consult or all kinds of things. And we learned a lot from you. I love that with sisterhood and meeting new people, you can learn from one another. And so thank you for the good work you're doing.
Thank you for this. It's reminded me of my passion, so thank you.
Well, good, because that's our hope, is to cheer, women on in their passion. That's our goal and
I got
hope.
my takeaway. Compassion is not a course. It's not an app that you can download. It's something that you do and live out daily.
Right.
So
Yeah.
be compassionate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, Joanna? You have any closing thoughts?
Well, I was like, can we have coffee now? Like, just go hang out.
Yeah, after the show, we'll go and hang out.
And like, how do I get my hair?
Got to shave off 3/4 of
Yeah, that could be it too.
Yeah. It's
Well, thank you so much for joining us today as we conclude our Autism Awareness Week. Thank you to Randy Nadine, to Jam for your insights.
Awesome.
And for you viewers, please make sure you comment on our videos and on our blog posts. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us about your struggle. Are you struggling with this whole value and dignity? And also tell us how you are going to make steps to see people differently, love, and be more compassionate to all people.
hear, love.
See, hear, love. Because thank you for that. Because just to remind you too that you are seen and heard and deeply loved by God. And we will see you on Friday. Bye-bye.